My name is Chad Burns. I am going to be walking you through some of the new features that just rolled out today in our new X3 11.0.3 version. Some of the changes that that we do actually have, I'll start at the bottom here. Some were actually just bugs that we had actually found in the system, so they are definitely relevant to this. However, I don't know how in-depth we will get with these. However, we have actually made some modifications and some fixes to these bugs that we did find within the system since the last time. All right, the actual features that we are going to be going through. One is the Drilldown lookups automatic choice. I'm not going to read these verbatim, but I will explain a little bit about what they are, and then we'll go through and I'll show all of them to you. Now this one is going to consist of any time that we'd actually had a drill down prior to this build. We had noticed that regardless of the levels, so let's say we chose level 1 of the drill down, and then we'd choose the second level from the list, and if the third level, or any of the levels actually, only consisted of one choice, we still had to choose that drop down and choose that one choice. Now if there's only one choice left, it's just going to autofill with that selection. It saves a good bit of time. It's most definitely user-friendly, and so I'll be showing that here in a moment. Another one that we have is the related tables PM generation data transfer. What this is, and I won't go too in-depth with this one on at least the support end, because it does a lot of the settings and whatnot, the setup for it will be something that we actually do kind of behind the scenes, if you will. What it is that we will be able to actually, normally we have procedures, assignments, PM parts and whatnot come over automatically to the work order table as a related table as well upon generation. However, sometimes that's not the case, and especially for custom related tables, in the past we've had to write workflows or workarounds at least for this to actually happen. This new feature will allow us to do things behind the scenes and actually code it so that we can set it up that all those come over. All the fields from all the related tables will just automatically transfer, so there shouldn't be any issues from here on out. Another feature that we actually have, it's kind of two rolled into one, is the form-based display controls as well as the custom related table printing on work orders. What this does is it actually changes a little bit of the aspect that we think of while printing a work order. It's actually going to show a new display and allow us to choose which tables we actually want to print with the work order. Now, prior to this, we've had to actually have the admin make those changes or make those setting changes. And now it's kind of a choice that we can choose it, and it's a little bit more user-friendly and in the interface now rather than in the settings of the actual account. So we'll go ahead and begin, and I will show you through those. And feel free, as we do go along, if you do have any questions, I will do my best to go ahead and answer any and all questions that you do have. However, I will stop briefly after each one just to make sure that we do all understand. If you have any questions about each of these as we go along, once again, feel free to go ahead and chat with me, and I'll be happy to answer those if I can. Otherwise, I will provide you with the support number where you can reach myself and my other colleagues here. It's 856-810-2700, extension 2 for support, and we'll be happy to answer any and all questions. And especially if you do want these set up, it will most likely be required to give us a call so we can actually configure your account to do so, to have these features set up within the account. Okay, so the first one I'm going to go over will be the drop down, or excuse me, the drill down feature. So as we see, we actually do have a drill down here from building to floor, and it ends with asset ID. So as we choose this, we get to select the building first. Based on building A, it's going to then pick all the floors that are located in building A, which I guess is a bad example. We'll go ahead and go for another one. Now, since building 100 only had one floor, and that floor is A, it automatically populated. We noticed I didn't have to choose that. Same as well, in building 100 floor A, there was only one asset located there, and it's asset 5000. So once again, I didn't have to select this 3 different times to go through the list. If it's automatically there, it will just populate if it's the only choice left. So that is the first one. Normally we would have had to choose the drop down here and choose this from the drop down. Now with this feature, it will go ahead and toss the value into this field automatically based on your choices and if it's the only option there. All right, any questions at all with that one? It's pretty straightforward. And once again, the drill downs, until you get used to them, definitely beneficial. A lot of people do use them. We have a lot of clients that do. If you're not utilizing drill downs, you want to set those up, feel free to go ahead and, once again, call support. We can definitely help you. Or if you have any services with us, you're more than happy to contact your account manager also. Okay, the second one that I'm going to run through is the Manage Related Tables. So if we go to Options, Manage Related Tables here, notice that we have 2 columns now. Normally we would have only had the display as to which tables are displayed here, which ones are visible to us. Now we can choose whether we want to view them or not. So if I don't want the work order procedures to actually be here, then I want the display turned off. Save it, and we should see that the procedures are no longer here. So this is a quick way to do this as opposed to the previous way that we were actually we had this configured. And procedures are back because we're choosing to display them. Once again, that used to have to be done through the navigation under administration to control your settings, and it would have to be done in the settings down here. Now that will not actually be an option. We have actually gotten rid of those, so there shouldn't be any conflict either. So those that used to, the settings that were in the administration section have actually been turned off, so there's no conflict between them. All right, going back. Okay, so that is the second change that we actually have. Third one is kind of rolled into this, and that's going to be the print option. Now normally, I'm going to go ahead and just uncheck these just because. Show as an example. So if we went to print this work order, and this goes for when it literally prints as well as when it gets emailed and whatnot, it's going to include the work order itself. But notice that we have nothing underneath it. We have our footer, but we don't have any charges, any tables, or otherwise underneath this. This is where we can use the print options. So if we do Manage Related Tables, and we want to print those procedures, and perhaps the assignments, parts of requirements, maybe the custom table. Now, as long as they're, and the only difference is that we will actually have to have things in here. If for some reason the related table is blank, that may be why it's not printing. It won't print if there's nothing to print, mind you. So we'll go ahead and we'll add an entry just so I could show you here. So we do have a charge. I'll go ahead and add a work procedure to this as well. And perhaps we are going to assign this to a secondary person. Thomas Jefferson. There we go. Okay, so Tom's now on there. So now it looks like we have an assignment. We have a parts requirement. we have procedure, and we have charge. Now, all of these, if they are checked in the Manage Related Tables here, should display upon printing. So we have the work order, we have the charges, the procedures, the assignments, the parts requirements, and the custom table now. Everything that we checked that we wanted to be printed off. So this definitely gives us a lot more control over the functionality of this, of deciding what it's a little bit more user-friendly, deciding what we want to print, what we don't want to print, what we want to view, and what we don't want to view. It allows us to have complete control over that. Now this doesn't also, this also goes for the assets rather. This goes for any table that you may want to display or print. So for the most part, this is not just the work orders that this will happen to. This will be for all tables. All right, any questions over that, perhaps? Okay, very good. All right, and the next, and I do believe final feature that we actually have regarding the related tables is a bigger one, and I'm going to try to break this down for you. I can't really show you everything because, once again, it is set up behind the page and will be something that you need to have configured with either your account manager or someone here in support staff. If you want to go ahead and give us a call, we can definitely add that to your account. I'm going to take you to the PMs, and we're going to pick a PM. Now, of course, prior to this, we have a PM, we have the PM parts, we have the PM procedures, we have assignments, we have PM documents, and I've added a PM custom table just to show you that this will work as well. And I'm going to add a new one to this and say this is going to be called, this is a new test. Okay, so prior to this build, we have had parts come over to the requirements. PM procedures will go to the work order procedures. The assignments will go to the assignments. Prior to this, we've had very good success with bringing things over once the PM generates into a work order to bring all those related tables over. However, there have been cases where they don't happen. Specifically, I do know that before I've answered many questions regarding the parts requirements and whatnot. There's global settings that the administrator has to check in order to have parts allocated to come over. So there's been discrepancies and whatnot in the past that have made this a little bit more difficult than it should be. So now the way that it's set up is that the PM and all its related tables will come over to all the work order tables that are here, that are related to it, including, like I said, custom tables. Here we've built a custom table on the PM side, and we've added a custom table on the work order side as well. Now, those are linked behind the scenes. Once again, something that we can actually configure for you. But now, when we do generate this, we should see all tables, including the custom table and all its fields, come over. Now, one note that I do want to say is after we have these custom tables built, another good point to make, and this has normally been the case between PMs and work orders, as we've noticed, is that the field name must be the same. So I'm going to show you that as well. So here I've actually created a custom field, and the field name is actually custom. That is its name. On the work order side, we can view this custom field. And once again, its name is custom. Since they are matching, since they are the same, this will allow this to happen. So it will have an automatic smooth transfer from one to the other. So if all works well, when I generate this, we should have a work order with all of this information filled in on the work order side. So let's manually generate it. So we do have our work order 1786. Procedures came over. And here's our custom table. Now, the reason why the other ones did not come over is because I haven't chosen them to actually come over. And once again, I won't do that just because here live with you, it is behind behind the scenes, behind the page. Not really what we want to perhaps show you just because it easily can be mistakes can be made easily by going in there and doing things if perhaps they're done incorrectly. So mind you, the assignments and the parts requirements would have come over from the PM had they been actually set up and configured that way from this side. Oh, here actually, I take that back. Actually, we didn't have an assignment here, and we didn't have any parts, so never mind. So that actually works. So that once again, to sum this up, this can actually be a straight transfer over from PMs to work orders now, including custom tables, which before was a little bit of an issue unless we wanted to make some workflows and we had to do a lot more work than what it's going to be now. It's a lot more user-friendly stuff that you folks can actually do on your site as well. All right, give me just one moment here. Feel free to go ahead and ask any questions that you may have so far about this. A good question. Someone had asked about what would we use a custom table before. As specific as I can get with this, custom tables can actually be built if for some reason here we have an email log. There are many companies that keep, other specific logs. Really, this could be anything that you wanted to create that's per your company that maybe you do some work, or you have a need for having another table or more information that you don't actually see on your PMs or work orders at the moment that you think this would be a great benefit to us. This is kind of where we would create a custom table to house that information, and that way, once again, after this build, we're able to actually transfer that smoothly without any discrepancies between the PMs and work orders. Very good question, though. Can we generate our own custom tables in PMs, or do we need to go through the help desk? Okay, very good question as well. I do recommend anybody who may not know the way to create the custom table that they actually do contact help desk. It is just a few brief minutes to actually set those up. We can actually walk you through that, in fact, so you can do it a second time. However, in answer to that, I would say most certainly contact the help desk here at support if for some reason you have not done it before. However, if you do know how to do it and do it correctly, that is something you can still do from your side, yes. Very good question once again. Yeah, so in fact, anything that we may want to actually bring over. So for example, someone actually brought up about assigning filters, let's say. If we're doing work on an automobile and we have the parts listed here on the PM side, when it automatically generates the PM, those go to the parts requirements because it is letting you know, or the mechanic or who's actually in charge of who's assigned to that work order, that there may be parts that are required in order to complete that work for the work order. So most definitely, yes, those are the kind of things we want to carry over. All right. Although it is brief, those are our main changes and updates that we actually do have. There is one more that I will show you. And once again, if there are any other questions, feel free to go ahead and ask me before we end the session. That way I can answer them to the best of my ability, to save you a call to support, if anything. And once again, I will reiterate the using a custom table. What we'd use that for is any additional information that we may not have room for or the ability to do thus far. Perhaps something that your company actually does, that you feel that it'd be important to have added to PMs or work orders that may not actually presently exist, whether that be an extra log, extra documentation, maybe some values of sorts, any almost like the nameplate information, if we know what that is, would kind of be sort of like that. Any small information that may not need to be tracked, but is good to throw in there for the assigned person to the work order. These are all good references, good reasons for using a custom table. But once again, there are a lot of clients who are great at at utilizing the system, where they come up with good uses for them that we've actually not seen. So you can kind of manipulate them, if you will, how you like. You can kind of create as many as you'd like. So if there is any if there's any other information that you do need to have in here that you may find that for some reason you just don't have room for, or it just does, it wouldn't look right if I added this information in here. It's not really relevant to be in the actual PM, but it's something that we want attached. That's something that we'd actually add a custom related table for. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and show the last feature. I'll go ahead and follow along if you can. Okay, the last one that we have is an edit in place, or an edit in line property. What this actually does is I've already set it up on the work procedures table down below. Notice that normally we have an add and an options, an add and an options. Now we have it where there's an edit. Now this is once again something that we have to configure from our side for this to be visible. So if you are an admin, you don't want people to have the benefit of this or the ability to edit. Once again, it can be controlled per table, or per related table, as well as per user. We can choose whether this is visible or not. However, what this will do is most certainly make things a bit easier for us. I'm going to go ahead and add a few more of these just to show you. Let's say we're going to put this at 4. Choose to bring this one in. Bring in one more. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and show this, and if you have any questions regarding this, please feel free to ask. Give me one moment. Good question. This is actually a good question. Kind of, I don't want to say off topic. Definitely off the topic of this, at least at the moment. Is that an assignment? An assignment. What an assignment is, in case we don't know what the assignments are here. An assignment is going to be an extra person, if you will, that perhaps at the moment, Egon Spengler is going to do this work for this work order. If for some reason he, let's say, can only do the first 10 for his skill set, and or it's going to require more work even after he does something, the rest of the work order can be completed by a separate person. Instead of having a separate assigned to up here, this is what the assignments are for. So this would be like a secondary person that would be being assigned. So we'd actually choose it out of the contacts, choose that secondary person, choose a date that they're assigned to the work. Working on a Saturday, not very fun. Any estimated hours that it may take to complete it, and it will be attached to this, and they will get, if it's set up, they'll get an email and everything as well, letting them know that they've been assigned to a certain work order, just as the normal assigned to person would be. So it could actually be for internal or external use within your company, depending on what you'd be using them for. Most certainly has its benefits. Okay, and back to the new feature that we have, and that is on the, and this goes for any table, not just the work procedures table, just to let us all know. So this can be any related table here. And with this edit button, we are now going to, previously, we'd go in, go to, edit, make the changes, save the changes, back to the front, down to work order procedures again, into the second one, edit, into the third one, edit. Now this is actually going to let us simply edit everything all at once. So we can edit this, make the adjustments that we need to. So if these are all supposed to be 3s, 3, 3, 3, save, it saves you a lot of time. A lot of time to go actually through instead of having to go to each separate record. So this is something that was definitely requested. We heard a lot of feedback from you folks saying, you know, this would be a great feature to have. We definitely agreed, and now you can see that it's going to be a lot more user-friendly for you, get a lot more work done. It's going to kind of cut corners in a very good way. All right, so that is the third and final feature, or fourth and final, depending on how we want to split up the managed related tables that we went over. Feature that we actually have rolling out today. So once again, I do thank you for joining us. If there's any other questions, feel free to go ahead and ask those, and I'll go ahead and answer those to the best of my ability here. That's a very, very good question. In case there are any admins actually listening, terrific question, is that with these features, is this something that can be, I guess, like worked around by the user themselves? No. Once again, these used to be a global setting that was, or an admin setting that used to be from the navigation you'd have to go and change, and it had to be the admin that made those changes. So once again, the admin will have control over who gets to view things, who gets to print things, who gets to have editability. These are all admin changes as well that most certainly you will have total control of still. Very, very good question. Sorry I didn't bring that up. That is a very good point. Now, if you don't, for some reason, see this on your account, like I said, a lot of these changes that are being rolled out, these new features, are stuff that we actually have to configure on our side. Besides the drill down, which was the first one that we went over, the drill down lookup automatic choice. Other than that, these related table functions and features that we're seeing will have to be something that we actually set up initially for you, because it's all done from the data dictionary, and it's in the kind of in the back end of things where this is something that we would initially want to set up for you. So feel free to go ahead and call us here at support, or if you have an account manager, once again, touch base with them. Just let them know that you would like this installed, if you will, or configured. All right, a couple more questions being answered. Give me one moment. The drill down. We had a question about the drill down. What a drill down is actually used for. Once again, the drill down that's found here we are actually using for building floor. Some people use it in different ways, but what this will do is it'll draw from an actual lookup. So it's pulling these from a lookup, like a specialized lookup here in the system, or what it can do is actually pull information from, which is, I think, where this is pulling it from is the assets itself. So if it's not a lookup table, it would just be from here. So it's pulling the building, the floor. So if we choose, the first level of 200, this asset's still a choice. If we choose on the next level of the drill down that it's on floor C, then once again, this is going to be in the list. So what it's doing is it's pulling these values, and based on that, it's deciding what's on that final level. And yes, that is an actual option. Give me one moment. And one other thing that I will show you here. Let's see if we have a, in fact, let me go ahead and configure that real quick. Okay, so we had a good question about something else as well. It was a feature that was added in with this, and tell you what, I'll create a new one. I don't like naming them that. Okay, so let's say, you know what, I'll call it this. Okay, so we have a new field here. And let's say that we want this to be a values lookup. And we want the options for 1, 2, 3, etc. We now do have an option for this as well. Where we'll have radio buttons that you can choose. Now, these radio buttons can be horizontal, or they can be vertical. So now when we go to edit, we should see that they are vertical. And we can make our selection of, let's say, 1. And we see that it's saved as 1. So the use of radio buttons, we actually do have that available as well. I do appreciate you bringing that up as well, also. So that is a very good point. All right, and that does actually conclude our webinar. If there's any final questions, feel free to go ahead and ask them now. Otherwise, these are our new features. I hope they are everything you hope they would be. If you do, for some reason, you see potential for something else, or you think that something else would be a great idea, always make sure that you bring that up to us, because that's something that we can pass along to our development team. And we work on this pretty much around the clock. So we're always happy to hear insight and ideas and new directions for our software. So if we can help make your lives easier and do the work more efficiently, that's our goal. So anything that we can do to accomplish that and help you accomplish that, that's our intent. That's our hopes. So feel free to go ahead and give us a call once again, 856-810-2700 extension 2 for support, and we will be more than happy to assist with either the configurings of these or get you in touch with your account manager to help you with this. Or if you have any other additional questions that may not actually be pertinent to these new features, but you do have about your accounts, feel free to go ahead and give us a call or shoot us an email at support@eMaint.com. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for joining, and have a great day.